So we are having a 5-alarm fire where Social Security is concerned. Not enough people know what is happening right now, and we need to raise the alarm. Some of you may have seen my Instagram post from last night from someone who is inside the Social Security Administration. It's essentially a whistleblower, and what they are saying is that if we do not stop Elon Musk and DOGE very quickly, we're looking at the collapse of the entire Social Security Administration, the system, the whole thing. And it's going to be real hard to bring it back once it's gone. I want to tell you a little bit about what this whistleblower said and also what I just heard at a press conference today with several Democratic senators who are equally alarmed about the fate of Social Security. And consider all of this, by the way, in light of the fact that Elon Musk just called Social Security the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. First, what I posted last night are screenshots of text messages that were sent by someone who works as a Fed, and they are really worried about what's happening at SSA. They start by saying, "I'm someone with firsthand knowledge and I am witnessing the Social Security Administration being actively dismantled over the past 2 weeks. These recent illegal actions of the new acting commissioner are certain to collapse the system. Please ring the alarm bells." This person then basically says, you've got to call your senators and your representatives, you've got to get your friends and family involved, get the media involved, whatever you have to do, this is really urgent. They then say, DOGE and Trump know that public opinion is not on their side. Social Security is very popular, so they are quietly dismantling piece by piece with the hopes that media coverage will be light, the public will be in the dark, and there won't be any pushback while they destroy America's social safety net. This person then says, if you want to call your representatives about this, by the way, let me give you some more examples. Start with probationary attorney-level decision writers who are responsible for assisting administrative law judges who were just terminated at a time when the agency has massive backlogs in cases. These, of course, are just a small number of the 7,000 workers they've just announced they're firing. They talk about how the new acting commissioner gloated about firing 14 employees as an accomplishment. Those exits actually got some news coverage. It says 3, the entire Office of Transformation and its 60+ employees were dissolved. Their purpose was to promote agency-wide efficiencies, right? Like we're supposed to be looking for efficiencies, but they just fired the efficiency people. They also just dissolved the entire Office of Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity with its 190 employees. Component heads and executives were told to draft plans to slash administrative staff by 50%. 50%. They also sent an email threatening massive reorganization of the Social Security Administration, followed with significant workforce reduction. The email pressured seasoned employees, even frontline employees, with monetary incentives to resign or take early retirement. And they also threatened to fire employees for cause should they not retire or resign. Number 7, executive staff responsible for overseeing regional field office operations were terminated. One region had all but 3 out of 72 staff members terminated, and it's very likely that the other 10 regions had similar terminations. Why? They have taken those 10 regions and consolidated them to 4. They're doing all of this because of what they call a bloated workforce and organization structure, even though staffing at the Social Security Administration is the lowest it's been in 50 years. The terminations are happening swiftly and often late in the day to avoid bringing attention to any media or congressional attention to them. They finish, the trauma they are creating for SSA staff is unreal. I am aware of at least 3 terminated employees who have unalived themselves, one of which I personally knew. Horrible. He said that these kinds of cuts will topple the agency. It's like a Jenga tower. You take enough blocks out, the whole thing falls. The goal is to cause the department to collapse without it being obvious. As the former head of the agency said just on Friday, ultimately you're going to see the system collapse and an interruption of benefits. I believe you will see that within the next 30 to 90 days. And at today's press conference, that is exactly what these 3 Senate Democrats plus Amy Klobuchar said was going to happen. Massive service disruptions and eventually checks not coming. Senator Wyden tells us why.
This is hollowing out the program. You're reducing, staff, going to make it harder for people to get information. This is the kind of sort of prelude to privatization.
Musk and Trump want to privatize Social Security. That is the goal, to get rich people richer off of our backs. Even though Social Security is a not-for-profit agency and always has been, even though if Congress raised the income cap, Social Security would be fully solvent for decades. And even though it is a wildly popular program that Americans rely on and have paid into their entire lives. Social Security has more than 73 million retired and disabled beneficiaries. For 4 out of 10 seniors, it is the majority of their income. People in rural areas especially rely on it massively. Call your representatives now, call them tomorrow, call them the next day and the day after that, and tell them, hands off Social Security. Seriously, it is time to get extremely loud, because together we can stop this, but only if we stop fighting each other and start fighting the oligarchs who want to take this thing away from us. So let's do that.